You ever notice how no matter how many times you call out someone's nonsense, they'll keep denying it right to your face? Yeah, let me tell you about my mom. She's got this sixth sense for spreading gossip, real personal stuff too, not just who forgot to take out the trash. And she'll swear up and down, hand on the Bible, that she's innocent. We all knew she did it, but she'd look you dead in the eye and say, "That wasn't me." You know what I mean? It was like a family tradition at this point. I wish I could remember what finally made me snap in early 2023. Probably wasn't even a big deal, just the millionth time she'd run her mouth. But that day I thought, enough. I wanted her to admit it just once. So me and my friend Zoe set up a little sting operation on a Sunday afternoon. We sat around the kitchen table real serious, and Zoe pulled out her best Oscar-worthy performance voice, shaking eyes wide. "Mrs. Carter, I haven't even told my mom yet. I'm pregnant. Please don't tell anyone, I'm begging you." My mom put on that sympathetic face, patted her hand. "Of course, honey. Your secret's safe with me." You ever set a trap and expect it'll take a while? Not with my mom. The very next day, my sister, my grandma, even the neighbor, came up asking about Zoe's delicate condition. The cashier at Target wanted to know how my young pregnant friend was holding up. By the time my dad casually asked if Zoe planned to keep the baby, I knew the rumor had gone full wildfire. So right there in the living room, I called my mom out in front of my dad, who nearly fell off the sofa laughing. My mom's jaw hit the floor. She looked at me totally speechless for once in her life. "You made it up," she gasped. "Why would you do that?" And I just said, "Because you never admit to gossiping." Now we know. Dad's wiping tears, wishing he'd thought of it years ago, back when she told half the town about his hemorrhoid cream. It was beautiful. After that, anytime someone asked about Zoe, I set the story straight, and suddenly Mom's little gossip show didn't have much of an audience anymore. Funny thing is, she did think twice after that, at least most of the time. Now let's talk about fairness, or in my family, the complete lack of it. I'm the oldest 4 years ahead of my brother, and you'd think I was adopted the way my parents treated us different. When I hit 18, they tossed me out, said it was time to figure out adulthood, and oh, by the way, they needed the space. For what? My brother's new gaming setup and a home gym, he used twice. So while I'm couch surfing and working 2 jobs, my brother stays home till he's 23, never pays a dime in rent, Mom's still doing his laundry, and Dad's covering his car insurance. I clawed my way up, saved every penny, and when my grandma passed, she left me a small inheritance. Not enough to change my life, but enough for a down payment on a modest 2-bedroom house in a neighborhood where you can actually sleep at night. That house became my sanctuary. I painted fixed, tiled heck. I learned how to tile from YouTube. My parents visited once, just once. Walked around, made some comments about the size of the neighborhood, and Dad drops in. "Your brother's looking at houses too. He's being smart, waiting for the right time," which is parent code for still living at home, not saving a nickel. About a year later, my brother's luck changes. He gets some girl pregnant, they're getting married, he needs a place to live. My parents call me while I'm halfway through putting up new shelves, and I already know what's coming. They give me the whole family comes first routine talk about how hard it is for him, how expensive rent is, how he just wants to do right by his kid. Then they hit me with the grand plan, move my brother, his pregnant girlfriend, and future baby into my house. Not temporarily, permanently. They'll take the big bedroom, I can have the little one, maybe turn it into an office. Like I'm supposed to be grateful. I push back, remind them it's my house I worked for, it paid the mortgage every month. My dad interrupts, family is more important than paperwork. Mom chimes in about how disappointed Grandma would be if she knew I was being selfish. The same Grandma who left me the inheritance, just to clarify. But here's the kicker. My dad actually says stop being difficult and just give your brother the house. You're older, you should have figured out your housing by now. Like a house is a hoodie I can just loan out. I hung up, told them I'd think about it. And I did. for exactly 3 days while I called a lawyer and read up on landlord-tenant law. Then I called back and said, "You're right. Family helps family. My brother can move in. My parents are over the moon. Dad's proud, mom's crying. They want to know when he can move in." I say next weekend. What I didn't tell them was I drafted a month-to-month lease, market rate rent, all the standard legalese clear as day. When my brother showed up with his girlfriend in a U-Haul, I handed him the paperwork and a pen. He barely looks at it, just wants to move in. For the first month, it's fine because my parents are paying the rent. But month 2, my brother's work is shaky, baby's coming, and suddenly he wants to pay half now, half later. I say, nope, the lease is the lease. He calls my parents, they call me, hit me with, "He's family, can't you be flexible?" I remind them they told me to give him the house. He's living in it. That's the deal. 3rd month, he doesn't pay at all. Says he thought family was supposed to help family, not profit off them. So I serve him a 30-day notice. He goes ballistic, accuses me of setting him up, calls my parents, they call me, and scream about how cruel I am, how I'm making a newborn homeless. I remind them again when I was 18, they tossed me out and said, "Figure it out." He's 24, married a dad, he can figure it out too. 30 days come and go. No rent, no move out. I file for eviction. For the next 6 weeks, my house turns into a battlefield. Dishes pile up, dirty diapers everywhere, friends in and out, neighbors complaining about the noise. I document every bit, photos, videos, every violation, every bit of damage. My parents try every trick, guilt, bribery, even offer to pay back rent. If I'll just call off the eviction, I decline politely. Eviction hearing comes. I show up with my paperwork, my documentation. My brother shows up with a sob story my parents as character witnesses. The judge isn't buying it. The lease is clear, the non-payment is clear. I did everything by the book. Judge grants eviction plus money for damages. My brother moves in with my parents. Their 2-bedroom gets real crowded, baby couple, all their stuff. Within a month, my parents are calling me not to apologize, but to complain. Baby's crying, no privacy, brother's not pitching in, girlfriend's unhappy. I listen, say maybe help him find his own place. He's old enough to figure it out. 3 months later, my dad actually calls and apologizes, first time in my life. He says he gets it now. Asks if I'll consider renting my brother a room with them as guarantors. I thank him for the apology, but nope, not going through that again. My brother finally gets his own studio. Relationship doesn't survive. They split custody. He's had to grow up, which honestly should have happened years ago. My parents and I are better now. They hold my brother to the same standard as me. All it took was a legal eviction. And my house still mine, still quiet, still peaceful, just the way I want it. Sometimes family helps family, but sometimes the best help is letting folks face the consequences. That's how my brother got my house right up until I had to kick him out. All right, tell me this. If your family tried to pull this on you, would you have done the same? Ever had to play hardball with family over money, housing, or anything else? Drop your story in the comments. I want to know how you handled it. And hey, if you got this far, hit that like, subscribe, and share your own story below. Let's talk about what real fairness and family actually mean.